Just imagine 10 days, only 10 days, well planned and executed with determination, can be enough to transform their relationship with debt and even eliminate them for good. It looks like a movie thing, doesn't it? As if it were a magic trick or one of those miraculous promises we see around. But I've seen it happen in practice, and not only with other people, but also in my own life. You may have tried everything: loans, refinances, expert advice, financial gurus' tips on the internet. Even so, every month comes that envelope with another debit notification, and the feeling is that you are stuck in an endless cycle. It is as if, no matter what to do, the debt always returns to haunt it. At that moment, discouragement hits hard. It makes you want to ignore everything, pretend the problem will disappear alone. But the truth is that it never works. Never at all. I've been in this place, sitting at the table, adding numbers, thinking there was no way out. It looked like I was entangled in a giant web, with no chance to free me. It was then that I realized something fundamental. The debt itself is not the enemy. The real problem is the lack of a clear plan and the paralysis caused by the fear of not realizing it. It was at this moment that I remembered advice that my grandfather heard from a wise friend: money is a tool, not a problem. The problem is how you use this tool. These words were a watershed for me. I'd understood that, with method, discipline, and a well structured plan, it is possible to get out of debt not in years, as many imagine, but in just 10 days. If you act the right way. You must be thinking, 10 days. This is impossible. Let me tell a story. When I was younger, I accumulated a debt that seemed unsurpassed: cards, loans, late accounts. I would be there, doing math, convinced that there was no way out, until I decided to change my approach. Instead of trying to pay everything at once, I started analyzing each debt separately, seeking practical and real solutions. What I will share with you now is not in fast enrichment books or the most famous financial channels. It is a millennial technique transmitted by generations in my people, the Jewish financial wisdom, tested in time, in real life, by ordinary people. And it works as long as you are willing to act. You may be wondering, okay, it sounds interesting, but how does it work in practice? The answer is simple: small daily steps, discipline, and a conscious change in the way you deal with every real you earn and spend. Once you master this technique, your view of money will never be the same. I don't ask you to believe only in my word. I ask you to dedicate a few minutes to understand. As a simple but powerful approach, it can transform your financial life. Because today you will find that you don't have to wait for a miracle, not save for years. You can start now and see results in just 10 days. And here is the most important: in the end, you will have a detailed plan, step by step, the same as I used and has helped hundreds of people to leave the financial hole. You will learn how small conscious actions become great power, how discipline becomes your ally and not an enemy. So stay with me to the end, because if you watch so far, you will understand how to stop fearing your debts, recover control over your money, and, above all, take the first real steps today. And no, this is just the beginning. True change does not happen when you make more money, but when you learn to manage what you already have. Are you ready to take the first step? So continue, because what comes next is a technique that really works. 10 days for debts and full control over your financial life. Now that you have an open mind and understand that debts are not a sentence, but a challenge that can be overcome, let's get down to business. I will share a proven technique used by generations, which does not promise wealth overnight, but a method based on system, discipline, and conscious actions. The first step is to make an honest survey of all your debts. Take a notebook and write down each penny due to loans, cards, late accounts, those small values you left to later. Don't leave anything out. When you see everything on paper, debt loses some of your power. It is as if it suddenly becomes tangible, which can be controlled. I remember the first time I did it. The fright was great. The debts were much larger than I imagined, but instead of panicking, I took an attitude. I divided everything into 3 categories: urgent debts, those that generate fines, high interest rates or may stain your name. B, intermediate debts, commitments that require regular payments but are not emergency. C, addable debts, those that can expect a little but should not be forgotten. This classification relieves psychological pressure. You stop feeling that everything is collapsing at the same time and see where to start. Now comes the most important part. Every day, take at least a small step to pay off category of debts, even if it's only 1% of the total. These small daily actions create a powerful cumulative effect. I started with values that look like ridiculous, sometimes just 50 Rs, but every payment, however small, gave me a sense of control, confidence, and energy. And it is this energy that moves any financial transformation. The next step is to look for extra sources of income. I'm not talking about large investments or complicated schemes. Look around you. What do you know how to do? How can you help others? I know people who sold things that no longer used, rented a room in the house, gave private lessons, or offered simple services. Each more real is one step towards financial freedom. I have a striking example. A friend, talented designer, was drowned in debt. I thought I could never get out of this until it listed everything that could generate income, even if they were small values. He started selling designs on freelance platforms, sold old books, helped neighbors with minor repairs. In 10 days, he set out part of the urgent debts and realized that financial freedom is not a myth, it is the result of concrete actions. Another essential principle is the habit of registering everything every day, not once a week or a month, but daily. How much you won, how much you spent, how much paid debts. Why does this make a difference? Because the brain needs to see the real results. Each small daily victory is a fuel to continue. And believe me, these little victories, added in 10 days, have a real and noticeable impact. But there's another fundamental point that many people ignore. Work with the mindset, not just money. Debts are not just a financial problem, they carry a psychological weight, fear, shame, anxiety. My technique always starts with an internal conversation. I can do that. I am able to control my money. I deserve financial freedom. These daily phrases build an inner force that transforms mechanical actions into conscious choices. I will share a real case to illustrate. An acquaintance of mine had a small store, and its debts reached a critical level. The landlord threatened to dump it. Suppliers charged late payments. He could have given up, but instead applied a systematic method. 1. He listed all debts without omitting any, as painful as it was. 2. He classified by urgency, separating what needed to be paid immediately from what he could expect. 3. He paid part of the urgent debt every day, even if it was a small but consistent value. 4. Created an action to increase sales, a simple promotion that brought more customers in a week. In just 10 days, he paid almost half of the debts and, most importantly, recovered the sense of control. This is the essence of the technique, no matter the size of the debt, but the consistency of actions. Each daily step transforms chaos into system, fear into confidence, and debt into a manageable challenge. And here is a truth that few speak. Discipline is your greatest ally. Small daily actions generate faster results than great sporadic efforts. There is an old saying in my people, better a small step firm than 100 grandiose dreams that never come out of paper. This applies perfectly to debt. After these 10 days, many make a mistake. They think the technique ends there. No, the 10 days are just the beginning, the foundation. Then you keep registering, paying, and fortificating the habit of managing your money. A small system, applied every day, creates an avalanche effect. Over time, you not only eliminate debts, but build financial freedom. In the next part, I will show you how to consolidate these results, maintain motivation, and turn this technique into a lifestyle. But for now, this grave, debts do not disappear alone. They disappear when you act daily. With conscious planning and discipline. We have reached the end of this journey, but not at the end of the process. 10 days can change everything, but not by magic, by the power of choice, discipline, and small but powerful actions, repeated every day. Stop and reflect. Many believe that financial freedom is distant, unreachable. Mistake. True freedom begins with tiny steps, and these 10 days are the first brick in the building of your new life. When you see the results, when debt starts to decrease and control over money returns to your hands, a sense of strength and autonomy that is priceless arises. Imagine this moment. You open your notebook, where you scored all the debts, and see numbers that once seemed overwhelming now shrinking. Each payment, each budget adjustment is a victory, and the victory is yours. You feel that you are in charge of your life, not the other way around. Now I want to share some key principles to make this technique a permanent habit. Daily registration. Even after paying off most of the debts, continue to write down each real that comes in and out. This practice forms discipline and clarity. Priority system. Always identify which debts should be paid first, urgent or high interest rates, so you minimize losses and strengthen your position. Support network. Surround yourself with people who understand your journey, who encourage and share experiences. Success comes faster when there is exchange and encouragement. Internal work. Debts weigh in the mind as much as in the pocket. Face fear and shame. Assume, I was wrong, but now I have a plan. Repeat daily, I am capable. I control my finances. This self-confidence makes your actions more effective. I will tell you a personal case. When I was on the verge of a financial collapse, I adopted the same method. 1. I wrote down all debts without illusions. 2. I classified them by urgency, immediate, medium, and long. 3. I paid a minimum amount of urgent debt every day. even if it was little. 4. I sought ways to increase my income, even with small extra jobs. In 10 days, I reduced my debts in half. But the biggest gain was the control. Control that is worth more than money because without it, any amount is gone. I saw this transformation in dozens of friends. When there is system, discipline, and consciousness, no debt is invincible. Now think about the future. In a month, a year, 5 years. What life will you have to apply this technique every day? Imagine yourself free from debt, with your money working for you, not the other way around. Imagine being able to invest in your dreams, your family, your projects. This is true freedom, and it begins with these first 10 days of action. But here is the crucial point. The result only comes when you act. No tomorrow, not next week, today. Take a notebook right now. Write down your debts, classify them, define daily actions, and start. Each day, one step, each step, one result. Friends, I didn't share just one technique, but a financial wisdom tested by time and generations. These principles have already turned lives and can transform yours. Logic is simple but powerful. Small conscious actions, repeated every day, create results that seem impossible at first glance. If this content has made sense to you, take the next step. Start now. And if you want to deepen, follow the channel because there is still much more to come. Practical strategies, real and technical stories that really work, not just beautiful theories. Remember, financial freedom is not myth. It is the result of your choices, your discipline, and the little steps you take every day. These 10 days are just the beginning of a life where money is a tool, not a burden. A life where you control your debts, not them. A life where you feel confidence, tranquility, and strength. So act. Start today. And remember, wisdom, I heard that, but it has already triggered this way before. Better a small step firm than 100 grandiose dreams that have never come out of paper. This first conscious movement, is its foundation and the construction of financial freedom. Subscribe to the channel, stay here, and I will show you even more ways to live without debt, with a clear mind and full financial freedom. Your route begins now, and never forget, you have the power to manage your money, your life, and your future. It all depends on your hands, your decisions, and the courage to take the first step. The rest we build together.